Hello guys and welcome to my new video. So today I'm decided to do a video about tier 20. So I've just gotten tier 24 piece. I haven't got the time to test it out in raid environment, so I'm going to be making a video in the next couple of weeks, probably next Wednesday when I get to try it on bosses. But this video is going to be about tier 20 in mythic plus content. So something along the lines of like, well, I tested out on a 15 this week with the tyrannical affix, and I must say I wasn't expecting a lot, but I've gotten some different results from it. So first of all, tier 20 changes your play style a lot. So I've been saying this for quite a while, but ever since I actually got tier 20, it is a very different playstyle, and you're actually going to have to really kind of get used to this playstyle. It really adds a much more micromanagement, mainly because in this mythic I was basically running with Soul of the Archdruid or Soul of the Forest ring, which also adds an additional thing to do when you Swiftmend. So the talents that I was running for this mythic that I was testing out, I was running with Prosperity, Displacer Beast, Feral Affinity, Typhoon, Cultivation, Germination, and Moment of Clarity. Now, Moment of Clarity can be swapped out to Stoneback or Flourish, depending. This is all personal choice. I'm running Prosperity mainly because having, like I mentioned in the previous video, if you don't use Swiftmend on cooldown, the minute it comes back off cooldown with those two charges, the minute if you don't use it straight away, Prosperity is actually quite good, because if you use it once and you kind of let it sit for more than 30 seconds, probably less because of the tier 22 set is going to reduce your Swiftmend cooldown. If you don't use it straight away, it's actually worth using Prosperity. And in mythic content, you don't have to use it off cooldown. You're just basically waiting for that oh crap moment when everyone's taking damage. You're going to press Swiftmend, your Efflorescence is going to heal for 200% more for 10 seconds, and your Soul of the Forest is going to kick in. Soul of the Forest in mythic content does not have to be wild growth. In raids, it always will be a wild growth, a 75% increased wild growth. In mythic plus content, you can choose, oh my god, my tank is taking so much damage in the next time. I'm just gonna use a 200% stronger rejuvenation. So you just press rejuvenation. Or if your tank is already like 10% HP, use a regrowth that's going to be huge. So Soul of the Forest, I found it actually to be quite useful. I swapped it out instead of Valence, so I was running with Pridus the neck and Soul of the Archdruid ring. Now Pridus can be swapped out instead of Pridus can be swapped out instead of Valence, depending on how high mythic you're doing. But like I mentioned, tier 20, your whole emphasis is going to be on Efflorescence. Like I mentioned before, tier 24 set will increase your Efflorescence healing by 200% for 10 seconds. 10 seconds is actually not a really long time, but I was really surprised by how fast the health bars were going up by just using Swiftmend and people standing in Efflorescence. Your game style is going to change by what? First, you're going to be trying to stand in Efflorescence. If there's AoE damage, you're going to have to kind of like, you know, try and stay close to Efflorescence range. Depending on the setup for the mythic plus you have, you're always going to have a tank. You're always probably going to have yourself who's standing in Efflorescence. And if you have like 1 or 2 melee, then Efflorescence is going to be just godlike in healing. Like, the biggest issue here, it's not really an issue. The biggest issue with Efflorescence placement is mana. In 5 man's mana is not going to be a huge issue. So you can actually just like, if your Efflorescence is kind of all the way in the back, the boss has been moved out, everyone is moving out, your Swiftmend is off cooldown, there's AoE damage, just press that Swiftmend and place Efflorescence where the group is currently is. Because mana is not going to be an issue, and you'll see that it's going to heal more than your wild growth, or like more than wild growth with rejuvenations on people. It's actually really quite powerful depending on your item levels and things like that. But if you do get a full use out of it, you Swiftmend, you make sure that your Efflorescence is around the tank, make sure you yourself is in the Efflorescence itself, and then few melee are in it. And then if you're using Soul of the Archdruid ring like I am, you can also also place a wild growth that's going to do insane amount of healing, or like I said, place a rejuvenation if the tank needs more healing. I actually found out that with this kind of play style and with specific affixes, this really encourages you to do more DPS. So I was picking Feral Affinity, I was going kitty DPS. You can, if you know the bosses, if you know the mobs, you just place Efflorescence and just go kitty form and just DPS. And if someone takes damage, or if there's AoE, like Efflorescence even for a single target is going to be insane amount of healing. If your tank is taking a lot of damage, just press Swiftmend on the tank, put Rejuvenation if it's single target healing, put a Wild Growth if it's AoE healing, and just go back to the kitty form to DPS. Because Efflorescence is going to heal, because your Wild Growth is going to heal. You have at least minimum 10 seconds of DPS time, minimum of 10 seconds DPS time, where like no one is probably going to die in that time. So it actually really encourages Feral Affinity as well. Like I mentioned before, your game style is going to change a lot. You're actually going to feel like a different kind of healer, because a majority of your healing is going to... I can't really show the meters because I don't have them at the moment, but at the end of the run, I checked total healing done, and Efflorescence was my top heal. It was actually my top heal at the end of the Mythic run, so you can just see how, if used properly, Efflorescence can be really good in Mythic Plus content. Like I said, Mythic Plus content does not really have mana issues. You can place Efflorescence anywhere you want. Just use it like a sniping tool, like a quick heal tool. Swiftmend and you place Efflorescence. Remember, you can stand in Efflorescence yourself. You just have to get adjusted to this kind of game style. Let me know if you have tier 20. Let me know how often you did Mythic Plus content, and let me know how you feel about the tier 20 bonus. Have you felt that it's been an increase, or do you just stick with the tier 19 2-piece? And by the way, I am using tier 20 4-piece and tier 19 2-piece for Mythic Plus content, and it seems to be going pretty well. So thank you for watching this little guide, and I'll see you in my next video.